Belly full, balls empty? Oh my. Oh my gosh. Hey guys, welcome back to the WyfeUp podcast and YouTube channel. I am so grateful that you guys are here and you guys heard the topic, belly full, balls empty. Now, before we get started, my name is Deetra and I am your host, and I am so grateful that you guys are here. And I always like to start with a little bit of a prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to spend with the WyfeUp fam, God. Use my lips to honor you, God. I just want to glorify you, and I just want to build up the kingdom of husbands and wives and marriages and covenant, and just glorify your name in the process. I love you, praise you, and honor you. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. Now, I just finished saying that prayer, and the title is Belly Full, Balls Empty. So let's just get started on this, okay? You get to see where I'm going. A while ago, when I was having a conversation with my husband about how I can keep him happy, and my husband said, men are simple. He said, I don't need much. I just need you to keep my belly full and my balls empty. Now, of course, this podcast is not about balls, so I promise. But it's about how to keep your husband happy. And so let's get started. So when I asked my husband, and I really just wanted to know, what he needed, because I wanted to be able to give him everything that he needs, at least that I can as a wife, because God is going to provide things, and there's things that I as a wife need to provide. And obviously we all know it's just not as simple as, okay, I have the ring on my finger, now I'm your wife. Okay, I got the job. I talked about that in another episode. No, there's work that needs to be done. I need to care for him. I need to love on him. I need to figure out his needs. And so one good way to figure out your husband's needs is to ask him, right? One good way to know is straight from the horse's mouth. Babe, what do you need from me? How can I keep you happy? What do you need? And that was my husband's answer, right? And so my husband, he was already on the podcast before, and he is going to be on next Friday's podcast. We're going to be talking about why men cheat. So tune in for that. But my husband is very vocal. He's very honest and direct, and he doesn't pull any punches. He's straight to the point. If you didn't see, you can go back and watch that episode with him on it. We talked about 10 things that husbands want from their wives. And it's a pretty good episode because, like I said, and to be honest with you, I handcuffed him. I did. Because my husband, again, is very direct, and sometimes curse words come out of his mouth. And, I'm trying to keep this is a Christian podcast. And, so I don't want to offend anyone. So I'm just going to let you know right now, he will be on next Friday, and I'm not handcuffing him. I'm just going to let him speak his truth and what he believes is the truth for men. And so if you guys are interested in that, please tune in. So anyway, he said that most men are very simple and are the same way. Now, I know that we could categorize all men as being the same, but the truth of the matter is all men are not the same. He might be right as far as majority of the men are very simple, right? Just we only want our belly rubbed and, and they feed us and whatever the case may be. But there are some men that those things really aren't the most important thing to them. And so the only way to find out, to be honest, is just to ask your husband. Maybe not assume that they're all the same, right? Because a lot of times, I didn't even write this down. I have my notes here. A lot of times you might be comparing him to your ex. That's a whole nother episode that I'm going to be talking about. But what I mean is you might have been in a relationship before, and your ex might want things a certain way, and that's what you're used to. So you just automatically assume, this is the way my husband's going to want it. This is going to be important to my husband. No. Your husband's a different person. It might be coincidence that they might like, some of the same things, but he's different. Don't compare him in your mind to someone else or someone that you dated before, or maybe what you saw your daddy do. You know what I'm saying? Ask your husband what he wants and let him tell you. Okay. Ask him what it will take to make him happy and keep him happy, right? Because there's something to that. if you ask him, okay, well, what is it that you really, really need? Okay. He might be like, okay, short term, I need this, this, and this. But long term, I need you to do this like all the time. This is something that I need you to do like all the time. And people just think it's sex, and it might not be. That might not be the answer. Okay. Ask him what his needs are. All right. So another thing you can ask him is, what kind of look on you makes him happy? Now, for my husband, he loves when I'm dressed up, right? Not all the time. He's okay, like if he comes in and I'm not dressed up, because that's most of the time, but I know how to get dressed up, right? So in other words, when we go out, he already knows I'm going to look like heads will turn in the restaurant. Because let me rephrase that. What I mean is, I try my best to look the nicest that I can possibly look like. I want to be like eye candy on his arm. I want him to walk in the door and be like, this is my woman. This is my wife, you know, and he does. And he really, really does. And so I strive for that. So when we go out, I keep it sexy. I try and look, you know, beautiful for him, because I want him to feel like, okay, this is my baby right here, you know, and walk with a certain sense of pride, like I said. All right. So some men want their wives dressed up all the time. Some men don't like it when their wives dress up at all. There are men that are like, I don't want you wearing makeup. I like the plain look, or I like more of a natural look. I don't want you in anything a little too sexy. I don't want other men looking at you. I'd rather you not overdress. All right. And some men are like that. Some men always want their wives to have their hair and their nails done. Obviously not mine, because my nails are not done in this COVID season. But my husband actually would like me to keep my nails done. He likes that a lot. And I actually don't. I actually don't want to spend 2 hours. No, it's more than that. 2, 3, 4 hours in the chair getting my nails done. It's a lot of time, and I can't use both my hands. So I'm not a fan. But I do like the way they look when they are done, and my husband loves that. So now that this quarantine is lifting a little bit, I'm going to go get my nails done and surprise him. And he's going to be like, nice nails. I'm not even going to say anything. And I'm just going to surprise him. But he likes that. So because he likes that, I'm going to do it. You know, I'm going to do it because it means something to him. All right. Some men don't care at all. Some men are just like, whatever, babe, whatever you feel like doing, that's fine. Some husbands cannot stand sweats. I just want to park that just for a little bit. Because I've seen women whose whole wardrobe are sweats. Now, I'm not coming for you. I'm not coming for you, because if your husband doesn't care, then it doesn't even matter. If he's like, I don't care, girl, wear whatever you want. As a matter of fact, some husbands love sweats, especially if you got a big fat booty and you know, and if he likes booty and you have a big fat booty and the way that it looks in the sweats and there's a nice little bubble there, then you can wear sweats all day, because he'd be like, dang, she got that nice little thing poking out. I like that. So, but some husbands are like, no, I don't want you in sweats. That looks like you didn't even get dressed today. It looks like you didn't even try today. So what is your husband like? I don't wear sweats. I don't even think I own sweats. I might have maybe one. I have leggings that I put on, but that's strategic. Why? Because I know my booty pops out in them leggings, right? And I know, and can I be honest, right? If my husband, if I know he's coming home, or if I know it's been, you know, it's about that time that we kind of spend some alone time together, I'm going to get the party started. I'm going to put on a pair of leggings and not going to put any underwear underneath it. And I'm going to make sure that it's right there lining the booty. I won't say crack, but get what I'm saying? It's going to look nice and uplifted. It's going to be sexy. So when he sees it and catch a glimpse of it, he's gonna be like, okay. And it's on popping. I know that. I'm not going to walk around in some baggy sweats, because that's not going to be sexy to him. All right. I don't think there's a husband alive that likes the granny panty. Let's talk about that. You got granny panties, throw them out. Throw them out. Now, granted, there are some husbands that don't like thongs. Like, I don't know any, but I'm pretty sure there are some that are like, they don't like that type of underwear, because maybe they associate that with something else, something dirty, or something that's, you know, I don't know. I don't know why, but there are some men out there that probably don't like that type of underwear, but a lot of men do. If you have granny panties, throw them out. Okay? Just like do yourself and your husband a favor. And period panties. Okay, that kind of can't be helped, right? I guess ish. You can get a pair of sexy period panties, unless that's your way of letting him know, look, I got these period panties on, so don't even bother touch me. Don't even ask. Some husbands already know when your period is coming, right? But period panties, okay, that you might get a pass for that. But for the other, however many days of the month, sexy panties should be the ish. If your husband likes that, how do you know? Ask him. Ask him. Cooking. So my husband mentioned keep my belly full, right? I love to cook. That was one of the things or reasons why my husband fell in love with me. And I didn't do it on purpose. I just so happened to know how to cook, and I happened to offer him food because when we were living overseas, he didn't have anybody and didn't have anybody cooking for him. And I, as a friend, was just like, hey, I have some extra food. Here you go. And he was just like, because he was eating Popeyes every day. And what else? No, pretty much Popeyes or fast food, you know. And so here comes this person with this home cooked meal, and it was just like, oh my gosh, and it was good because I put my foot in my food on plate, right? So he's like, oh my gosh, this is seasoned and it's just right and it's amazing. Oh my gosh. And so that was something that really, really endeared me to him, you know. And so I recently had a discussion about this with my friends. Two of them have husbands that cook, and their husbands really enjoy cooking. And that's great. If you have a husband at home that cooks and then you don't have to cook. If he really enjoys how to cook, girl, that's so cool, right? I love cooking. If your husband loves cooking, then you good. You are good. But there are wives that don't know how to cook, and their husbands don't know how to cook. And that means y'all are eating out all the time. That means, either you're eating at restaurants or you're buying fast food. That's not cool. That's not cool. You need to learn how to cook. Like, seriously, you need to learn how to make something. Even if you're like, okay, maybe you don't cook every night, but you can figure out how to make a nice, delicious steak. There's YouTube and Google videos to tell you how to do all of that. Make him a meal once in a while. Fill his belly once in a while. Because guess what? Cooking is almost like a language of love, right? When you make something from the heart, you're there and you season it up just right. Your hands are in it. You're cooking. You know what I mean? Like you're handling this food. You are making this with love, and you present that with your husband. And he takes that first bite. And he's like, It is. Listen, the only thing better than that is sex. Like seriously, he will love that. He will love that. Now, granted, of course, there's going to be a husband out there that's just like, no, I don't know who. But most men love to eat, and they like to eat 3 times a day, right? So even if you can't cook, you can possibly make him lunch. You can fix him a bomb lunch to take to work the next day. You can make some really good sandwiches or learn how to make some good sandwiches. Pack him a nice lunch and put some goodies in there as well. I'm telling you, he gets to work and be like, wow. His friends will be like, who made that for you? My wife. There's ways. You can feed him. You can do that, okay? A full belly is gold. I'm telling you, a way to a man's heart is through his stomach. You heard that. If you haven't heard it, you heard it now. There's some truth to that. And I know there's some women coming up right now. I don't know if they're millennials or Gen X. What's after millennials? Gen X's that are not knowing how to cook. Listen, that just because you don't know how to cook doesn't mean your husband doesn't want to eat. Figure it out. And you can save money too by cooking yourself. Now, granted, you may have a job. He may have a job. You get home late and you just don't have time. But there's time on the weekend. There's got to be a day during the week that you can cook for that man. Okay? Ask him how he wants sex. My husband said keep his balls empty. That's what that meant. I know you guys already figured that out. But just in case there's somebody like, balls empty, I don't get it. Sex. Make sure I'm satisfied, right? Make sure I don't want for anything. Make sure I don't have to come looking for it, from you, obviously. And so, and of course, sex is very important to my husband, as you can tell by the title of the podcast. Ask your husband how important sex is to him, okay? Find out how many days a week your husband wants to have sex. It's not going to be the same for everybody. Right? So to make that assumption that all men want sex all the time, I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't. Some men are not like that. Some men are like, you know what? I'm good if I have sex once a week. Some men are like, I'm good if I have sex every other week. Some men have so much stuff going on in here, meaning he's working hard or he's stressed. He's not even thinking about sex, right? Until his body is like, hey, we need to release. Something needs to happen. Like, where's your wife at? You know what I'm saying? And that could happen. Find out if he likes to be adventurous or doesn't. Is he a freak? Is he conservative? Right? What does he want you to be? Does he want you to be a freak? Or does he want you to be conservative? Which one? Because it might not gel very well if your husband is very conservative and you're just trying to, bring the freak out in him. That might not go very well. Or it might, you got to, treat him with baby steps. Does he like you being sexy? That kind of ties into what we were talking about a little bit before. Does he like sexy photos? Does he like lingerie? Does he want you to learn how to pole dance or striptease or twerk? Yep, that's my husband. That is my husband. What if the answer to any of those questions were yes, what are you doing about it? That's my question. Like, if there are things that he's asking you to do and he wants you to do, are you willing to do it? Within the realm of your marriage, okay? I don't mean anything crazy. I mean, y'all could get as freaky as you want with each other. But nothing crazy or that God's going to be like, no. And don't invite anybody in your bed. I don't know who that's for. Somebody right now is thinking, oh, she's talking to me. Yep, I'm talking to you. Yep, I am. Because, I know that there are some men out there that are wanting or always had a fantasy because they've watched so much porn and they're like, I just want to have a threesome. I want my wife to do that. Don't you invite anybody in your bed. Do not defile your bed. It's holy. Don't do that. Don't invite another woman in or man or whatever. Don't do that. Okay. I don't care how much he begs for it. Don't do it. Do not do that. Because at the end of the day, there is a hierarchy that you have to answer to. And while we're supposed to be submissive to our husband, I believe it's to a certain degree. And if he's asking you to do something immoral, the answer is no. All right. Something else that my husband wants that he didn't mention in the whole, keep my belly full and my balls empty, is that he wants our marriage to stay fun and sexy. That is so important to him. Right? He does not want our marriage to ever be stale, mundane, or boring. He wants us to keep it spicy and not predictable. Don't get me wrong. We work hard. We both work hard. And we have kids. And we have long days. And there's always something going on in our home. And sometimes it's just not, realistic, right? But we find the time to do things with each other. We find time to spend quality time with each other. And we try and keep it sexy. I try and keep it sexy with him. If I'm like, days have gone by and I'm just like, okay, you know what? And it can be something simple like, after I get out of the bath or a shower or whatever and walking around in a pair of underwear and a t-shirt with no bra, and he doesn't know he don't know how I'm going to come out of the bathroom. I might just come out with a robe, but nothing, right? But something that's just going to pique his attention real quick, like, okay, all right. He likes that. And I want to make sure that just to keep him guessing. I don't want it to be boring and I don't want it to be stale. And it's very easy to get that way. Honestly, like I said, when you have kids and when you're working on things and you're up late and sometimes it's just, you're tired. Look, I'm tired. You tired? Yeah, I'm tired. All right. Let's just sit here and watch First 48. You know what I mean? Or it might not be that. It's just like, okay, you got to feel and know your husband and know when it's time to switch it up, when it's time to interject or inject some sort of fun or something different, something spicy in your marriage. All right. The minute I feel that we're heading towards mundane, it's time to circle back and fix it. It's time to circle back and be like, not today, not on my watch. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. What about you ladies? How do you feel about that? Like, what do you do in your household to keep your marriage sexy and fun? Or are you even doing anything at all? Or do you even think that that matters to your husband? You know? Or does it? Has he ever mentioned that to you? If you don't know, ask him. Ask him. Because a bored husband, a husband that feels like everything's mundane and stale, will seek fun outside of the household. And you do not want that. All right? It's important to me that my husband is happy. And not only happy, but extremely happy and very, 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 very satisfied. What about you? Okay. Is your husband's happiness imperative to you? My husband it's like high priority on my list is he happy? And I have to monitor everything in the house, right? From the laundry, the cooking, the cleaning. And there are days that I'm not cleaning because I'm busy I'm writing, I'm creating a course, I'm just doing other things. I have my own business. Also, really quickly, do you guys see these lashes? I don't know if you can see them or not in this light, but these are pink mink lashes. And I also work with a company that sells magnetic lashes, and I love them so much. And so if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link below. And these are these right here they made them pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so if there's and a percentage of the proceeds go to breast cancer awareness. So if that's something you might be interested in, you can go to my link and buy it because, what a great way to support. That's why all this pink and yeah. All right. So what do you think your husband would say if you asked him what it would take to make him happy? Do you have any idea what he would say? Have you ever asked him that question? Are you willing to make the necessary changes if he were to say A, B, and C, and it wasn't what you were doing now? Are you willing to say, you know what, I'm going to change. I'm going to do whatever it is that it takes to please him. All right. So one last thing, knowing your husband is imperative. You have to know him. You have to know his needs, his wants. You have to also know when something's going on with him. Having discernment about your husband is important, right? Because when things are going on with him, you need to be able to jump in and be like, babe, what's going on? His needs are going to change throughout the entire course of your marriage. So if you ask him today and he tells you this and this and this, 2 weeks from now, he might not need the first thing because he's going through something. 2 years from now, he might not need B and C because he's like, that was important to me, but it's not anymore because something might be going on with him, right? Or he might be getting older and he's just like, yeah, I used to want all that. You ever hear those stories where people are like, oh, yeah, we used to have sex like 5 times a day. Really? Oh my God. Like, yeah, we do it 5 times a day. We have a very strong sex life. And then, of course, you ask them 10 years later, or they tell you, okay, when we first got married, we was doing it like rabbits. And then like after 5 years, we slowed down. After 10 years, now we do it once a day. Great. That is awesome, right? But our bodies change, our needs change. And so you got to stay abreast of those things. But also, life can change for your husband. And this is really important. This is why, you have to know your husband. Because he really may be going through some changes. He may be overworked. He may be overstressed. He may be overtired. He may have health issues. He may have health issues that is causing him to not want to be physical. Something may be going on with him. And you know how men are. In case you didn't know, they hate going to the doctor. That is like the worst thing for them. Honestly, most men that I know, most men that I've met do not like going to the doctor. They will go if they're forced to go. They will go if something really, really got to be wrong. And the wife got to be like, we're going to the doctor. We're going today. All right. And at this point, it's like something crazy that could have been prevented 6 months ago. But he didn't want to go, or he didn't say anything about it. Men will hold on to pain and not say anything. My husband's like that. He won't say anything. And I don't know if it's He doesn't want to seem weak. He doesn't want to worry me. He just does not want to say, hey, I'm in pain. And so the days that he's like, hey, this is bothering me, like my back is an issue, is bothering me, that pretty much means that if he's telling me that it's a 5, it's really like a 10. And, you know, I have to be mindful of that. So his needs change. Like I said, stay in tune with that. Stay in tune with your husband. Stay in tune with what is going on with his body. Stay in tune with what is going on in his mind. Stay in tune with everything, because you're the closest person to him. You have to know what's going on with him. Seriously, you have to know. You also have to know, like if he comes home one day, he seems to have an attitude, right? And he talks short to you. That's not you. That's whatever's going on with him. Pick up on those cues. Some wives are like, he came home with an attitude and snapped at me and whatever. And then you off telling your girlfriend, yeah, I can't believe he came home with this attitude. You know what? I'm not dealing with this. Instead of saying, something's wrong with my baby. Something is wrong with my husband because he doesn't talk to me like that. And I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Babe, what's going on? Get out of your feelings. Stop being offended and find out what's going on with your best friend. Find out what's going on with your covenant with your husband, right? Because nobody else in this world is going to do that. Well, I mean, that's not true. There's some women that would. There's some women that be like, what's wrong, Fred? Or whatever his name is. What's going on with you? I noticed that you did call some coworker. You know, I noticed that you did. Oh, I'm good. You know, I'm good. Really? Because, okay, you know. And he's thinking, my wife didn't even ask me what's going on with me. She didn't even notice. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. You need to be a student of your husband. You need to learn him inside and out, top to bottom, from head to toe. You need to know what's going on with him, okay? Because believe it or not, you could possibly save his life one day. Because you're so in tune with him and you see little things that are like markers or little things that are like, this isn't right. He's not really eating like he usually eats, or, you know, he's tired or sleeping a lot more, or doesn't seem to have energy, or he's just changing, or I notice this or I notice that. You, wife, get to do that. That is your job, to see how your husband is, to take care of him, to adjust to his needs and what he needs in every season. It is your job. And the beauty about that, and the beautiful thing about that is that God created us as nurturers. He created us as helpmates to him. That's our job. Some women don't want to do their job, right? I signed up for this. I want to do my job. I want to take care of him. I want him to always be taken care of and always feel loved, appreciated, and taken care of. And so it is my job to not only do that, and also to keep his belly full and his balls empty. That's my job. So what is your job? What does your husband need? What does your husband want? What are you doing about it? If you don't know, take the time to find out. Like, seriously, do it this weekend. Today's Friday. Do it this weekend. Ask him, babe, let's sit down and talk. I need to know what your needs are. Right now, today, what is today's date? Today is October the 16th, 2020. October the 16th already. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. But today is October the 16th. Ask your husband what he needs and what he wants. And he's like, oh, I got everything I need, baby. You're doing a fantastic job. That's great. Or it could be just one of those standard answers like, you know, I really don't want to talk about it right now. But know your husband. Get to know him. Get to know what he really needs. And do it. Okay? And if he says that he wants his belly full, then fill his belly. And if he says he needs his balls empty, then make sure they stay empty. That just means that you are taking care of every need for him, sexually and filling his belly. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. And thank you for hanging out with me. If you like the content, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also like or leave me a positive review on my Apple Podcast or wherever you're listening to this podcast. So I appreciate you guys being here, and look for the link below. I will see you guys next week. Next week, Monday. And don't forget, next Friday, my husband's coming back And I'm not handcuffing him. He can say whatever he wants to say about why men cheat. I can't wait. I can't wait because my husband don't pull no punches. So this is going to be fun and funny. Anyway, guys, bye for now.